All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a sound and a visual check before we get started here. How's everybody? How's everybody's weekend? Get a few things set up. You're here. We're here. It's Friday. It's Sunday night. Sunday night, not Friday. Sunday night. And we're starting off with a bang. Market's selling off a little bit. All good. Great. We be jamming. Yeah. Always. Always. A very moody weekend. Yeah, we'll go over that. Let's get started. As always, welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. In the YouTube chat, there's our Topstep risk disclosure. It's for educational purposes only. Everything that I go over is exactly that. It's not a signals class. Let's get to this straight off the bat, then we could have some fun conversation. Well, here's the daily chart in the NASDAQ. Looking pretty dang bearish, if you ask me, right? I want to just point out some points, right? Point out some points. Look at this, right? At these 22,450s. See how we had that consolidation? Three days. One could argue 4 days of consolidation and then a nice sell-off. We look back, we had 4 days and then a nice, 1 or 2 day sell-off. And now we look at what's just happened. And the question I have is, do we have a sell-off? I'm going to decide. I'm going to look like that. I'm going to look at that and look at today's price action. And of course, pending news, pending information. I mean, who knows? Anything could happen. But from a technical standpoint, I could see a sell-off. I mean, we're already down 1% today, so it's even further sell-off. Let's just say that. I'm looking at that. Let's look at the hourly chart. And yeah, we see it. You see it. I missed the freaking short, though. I missed a short tonight. You could see on these orders, I had a short to sell one at 393 3/4. And it was the stupid thing in my head where it's like, do I do a sell at bid or sell at ask or just mark it in? If I would have marketed in as we're watching this market sell off, I would be in short from 393, but I didn't. I put a limit order in and then I checked back and it didn't get filled, unfortunately. Marketing in sometimes it's price over just needing to get in, just like a stop loss. And here's an hourly chart. Let's point out this. Let's point out some major resistance up here at 21,500. Let's point out that we are breaking through this support. Let's point out that we had the gap down, we filled it, and now we're getting continuation. I want to look at this level of support. Right, there's a level of support. I could easily see this market selling off, to these 250s, these mid 200s. And then maybe, can we test this low of May 15th? Can we test the lower 200s? I don't see why not. There's a lot of bearish momentum tonight. Like I said, down 1%. We could zoom in and you could see what I should have just marketed in, man. I mean, you could see this is a beautiful setup. We had the gap. We had that major gap down. We had a rally. We filled the gap. This is a 5-minute chart now. And we had this 3-bar reversal. And that was as good of a setup as what it gets. So I'm a little sad. Didn't get that fill at 393, and we are continuing down. I mean, I think it's just looking for selling opportunities. We are in this range that from May 15th. Can we see these lows? And like I said, I don't see why not. We've already sold off quite a bit in the last 30 minutes. We've sold off 140 points. So what I'd like to see is a nice bounce. Maybe we get a bounce to a level of resistance, right? Maybe we get a bounce to a level of resistance and then a reversal and look for a continuation down. That's what I'm looking for. Let's move on. I want to take a look at gold. Let's look at gold. Gold's usually on the move lately. Gold's been trading. Let's take a look at the hourly. Yeah, we might not even bounce. We might just continue to sell off and there's no bounce. Let's take a look at gold. I mean, we have, is this a double bottom, everybody? This is an hourly chart. Is this a double bottom? Are we going to look to break through this, 320 or 3250 level? And if we do, is this going to be a confirmed double bottom? This is a higher low. So it would only make sense that maybe we look for a higher high. And we have this gap from last week that we could possibly look to target, look for the fill of the gap, 3320s, mid 3320s, look for the gold to fill that. Let's look at this. Here's pattern recognition, everybody. Does this look familiar, right? Does this back here in the beginning of May, does that look familiar? Are we looking at something similar? I don't know, right? So the pattern recognition, can we see it? Sure. Is it more likely? I don't know. But it's something that we could trade. It's something that, happens. Patterns repeat in the markets. And that's a good example. So it could very well be something that we look for here in gold, looking for a rally up. Thoughts, chat? Thoughts? Luke, how are those what is that, pitching wedges? Pitching wedge conversations? I went golfing, posted on Twitter. JB, gotta be careful. I'm in a short ES. Stop is in profit. Good. Thoughts on buying gold? I just went over it. I just went over gold, everybody. Bitcoin trying to break. If NQ is down this much. Yeah, this is a 5-minute on the NQ, and I mean, that's quite the sell-off. I don't want to sell it down here. I don't want to really buy it down here as well. I'd rather wait for a pullback. If we don't get a pullback, then I'm okay with just sitting on the sidelines. Trader Zoe, credit downgrade affects equities. Yeah, I think so. We trade the market that's in front of us. We seen at the end of the day on Friday, we had the credit rating. It was just hilarious. It was hilarious. I was short Friday, and I took losses, and then right at the close, Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit, and we sold off. But that wasn't the funny thing. I think the funny thing was Walmart raised prices, right? Walmart raised and said, hey, we're going to raise prices. Now, I don't know the details. Chat, you probably know more of the details than I do. But Walmart says, yeah, we're going to be raising prices due to tariffs and supply chain or whatever. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. That's what happens when you have tariffs. Companies, it costs more for them to, land the goods, and companies pass that cost on to the consumers. But the thing that got me was the president, the president of the United States, just making the assumption that the companies are going to eat that cost. I think it's like, it's a catch-22. I don't know. I don't know. I have my opinions. I'm going to try and hold from saying my opinions, but what the heck do you think is going to happen when you raise tariffs, right? You don't have the control to tell people what they're going to do with when they're going to charge it, how the company is going to manage it. It's just crazy. I think we're starting to see that. We have this credit downgrade. These markets are starting to sell off, and there's a possibility that we can see more. I think we're going to start seeing more. Walmart's not the first, everybody. We're going to start seeing other companies that have physical goods, maybe Amazon, maybe these other companies who are going to be blaming tariffs for an increased price. I would, if I owned a company and I sell, say, widgets, and the cost of widgets now increased, I don't want to eat that cost. I would pass it on to my consumer. Like, hey guys, I'm sorry, but the price of widgets just went up by 10%. And unfortunately, I have to make a choice between firing employees or going bankrupt or increasing the price of my widget. That's kind of reality. I'm not an economist or whatever, but that's kind of the general sense, right, that you learn in junior high and high school and college. And it's going to be interesting to see how this next couple months play out, and to see how it affects inflation, and how it's going to be with the interest rates, right? Higher for longer, Papa Pal, higher for longer, interest rates, not going to see a cut for a bit longer. I don't know. Lots of interesting things to happen. Market's always entertaining. That's why we love. I'm speaking in cursive, yeah. Speaking in cursive. It's Sunday night, all right. Jay Strizzy, Kevmo, speaking in cursive. It's not called slurring your words. It's speaking in cursive. My wife works for the second largest food distributor in the U.S. She said all her vendors are saying their prices are going higher. Yeah, Dan, it's just the reality. That's how it works. I mean, Warren Buffett said it in December, right? Was it Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett said it December, January, wherever. He said that, well, what do you think happens when you raise tariffs? When you have a banger of a win in Asia, like 300 plus, do you allow yourself to size up in New York session since you have a buffer? Rolled sushi, it depends. Traders can build a buffer and then increase their size if that's part of their process. It depends. Let's go. Absolutely, there's more companies coming. Yeah, there's more companies coming. It's going to be, I think it's just going to be a fight between who's paying prices, and yeah, who knows? We're seeing the market sell off tonight, reacting of either the tariffs raising price by Walmart or Moody's, a little bit of both, but this market is starting to sell off. Weather choice is US. Yeah. Did you short? Nope. I missed a short on this. I did not get filled. I was trying to get a limit order at 393 3.25, and no, I did not get filled. Should have marketed in. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Best to stick with trading than randomly guessing on international policies and price strategies. Zeus, I'm giving my opinion. Zeus, it's based off of experience. I've spent plenty of time with international trade, international supply chain, and that's the reality of it. I've seen and worked with companies that it's the same thing, that they're sourcing out suppliers to avoid tariffs, and if the tariffs change, then they pass it on to their customers. That's how it works. It's not a guess. Some of the other traders on fast market switch between ES and NQ, like Jack or Dobie. How come you don't really switch between them? World Sushi, I've thought about switching to ES, but my main market I've been day trading is the NASDAQ, and I'm choosing to switch or stay on the NASDAQ. I've been looking at gold a little bit. Looking at gold, I haven't really placed many trades on gold, but we'll see. It moves during the Asian session. That's why I cover it. This market keeps going down. It's not stopping. There's no bounce yet. There might not even be one. We might just continue to sell off. I mean, what do we have? Those levels, remember those levels on the hourly? We still have 250s. There's still 20 points till we get to this level of support. I mean, you can make an argument that there's some support. Man, this is just kind of threading needles and guessing here. But there's a major one at lower 200s. And I would consider these zones, right? These are zones. This is not exact, but I don't see a reason to buy this market. I don't see a reason to sell it right now. Because if you sell it, you have already sold it after we've sold off so far, even though it can continue down. I'm looking at my 5-minute chart, right? Maybe you can zoom in and make an argument to scalp it or trade it. But this market is just going down. Trader Zoe, ignore. Hey, I don't mind giving my opinion, Trader Zoe. Everyone has opinions, right? That's what makes markets. That's what makes politics. If everybody had the same opinion, the same views, then the world would be a lot different, and there wouldn't really be a market. This is a good area to start accumulating for a decent reaction higher. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we get some reaction. I don't know how big of a reaction. Maybe just some type of a bounce, some type of pullback, so that way there could be an opportunity to sell it. The market's already down over 1%. $14 minutes until the 1 hour closes. Let's go with, you know what, we could have gold and the NASDAQ up. Why not? Why not? We don't have to be stuck watching just one market. We could watch both. Let's go ahead and pull up the gold on the 5-minute, because usually gold's been moving right at the top of the hour, so we still have a little bit. Remember, it's Sunday night. Sunday night, the stream is only 1 hour long. It is Sunday. They're supposed to be spending time, rest, relax, but market's open. No music? Good shout. Let's see. I have to turn my speaker on so I could hear it. Let me know if it's too loud. (1-800 Maestro) Koofy stream. Silly Coach Silly. 5-minute perfect. Oh, there's music. You got that t-shirt? I gotta get some t-shirts. Definitely gotta get some t-shirts. Some of my t-shirts, probably gonna be something like, probably gonna be stop loss is a better entry. Stop loss is a better entry. Good evening. Great filibuster. Took a scalp. Asito. Buy the dip. Gold consolidating. Gold's been consolidating at this 250s. NASDAQ pulling back. Yeah, NASDAQ's starting to find some buyers. Yeah, maybe there's a long here, but I don't want to long against this. Yeah, your stop loss is my ideal entry. Stop loss is a better entry. No, I'm not doing an extra hour. T-shirt should be DBA concepts. Oh man, DBA concepts. Dakota, use your live account to push the market up to help my XFA. My live account's not big enough to push this market up to help an account. Yeah, I'm on fast markets Monday mornings. All right, we're getting that bounce here in the NASDAQ. We'll keep gold right there. Keep an eye on gold. We're getting a little bit. Let's watch this. Let's see if there's a selling opportunity here in the NAS. We got 300s. Any news this week? Should we look? Should we look at the news? A lot of news out of China. Lots of Fed speaking tomorrow. Lots of Fed speakers tomorrow. Trump speaks to Putin. Phone call. A signing ceremony. Man, I mean, they basically have Trump's daily schedule on here, right? Lots of speakers. Oh my gosh. You'd think that they get paid to speak. Look at this. Not too much when it comes to news. Jobless claims, of course, coming out on the 22nd. S&P PMI flash. Lots of speakers. I think they get paid. Do you think Moody's downgrade is fueling a sell-off? I mean, it's definitely I part of it, right? When they downgraded, you've seen how the market reacted right there. It was a big sell-off. It was the first time in history, right? And we're down 1% today. If I ever do a t-shirt, it'll say my losing trade make me a winner every single day. Yeah, we need the president to say buy now. It's been downgraded before. What time do I start trading slow markets? Well, I started about 30 minutes ago. So I start at 7:30 p.m. Central. No trades yet. We went through kind of a top-down view analysis of the NASDAQ. I'm watching this pullback, this little rally, right, that we're in the middle of, looking for a possible short. I want to get this up. Let's see if we can. Let's zoom in. We'll zoom in a little bit here in the NASDAQ. Make sure. Last time the market dipped, I believe 10% back in 2013. All right, so last time in 2013, chapter t-shirt idea. I always fade my coach. As long as I get a commission or a percent, give me a cut. If you fade and make money, give me a cut. You only trade the 5-minute? No, I do not. At the very beginning of this class, I went through the daily, then the hourly, and I went through the different time frames. This is the one that I actively trade. I have the 5-minute and the 100 tick up. How about getting Hoag to join us? I don't, yeah. I think one of these nights I could get Hoag on. You think the real sell-off is 3 a.m. during London? Well, we've seen signs of maybe a reversal right here. I was looking for us to get back a little bit more. A little bit more. I want a DBA. You want a DBA concept shirt? DBA concepts. Hey, you should have bought there. DBA concepts. Buyers in gold. Yeah, it looks like here we go back down. I'm watching this 5-minute. If we get a push back up to 299, this 300 level is a round number. Let's get in one right there. I'm not going to use limit orders. Just getting in at market. These are micros. I'm going to scale in. My CYA is going to be above this level. What's a #1 money-making strat? Buy the dip and hold for a long time. For years. Right? If a market sells off and you buy it, then statistically, if you hold it for over 10 years, you might be making money. Will Topstep ever allow swing trading? I don't know. I know in the live account, you have more flexibility and you could hold trades overnight once you have that conversation with the risk manager. Oh, there's Hoag. We are trying to find out when we could get you, Hoag, on slow markets. Hoag joining us on a Sunday. And there's Hoop. Right now I'm short 3 micros, 296.5. Good evening. Anytime. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that, Hoag. You said anytime. Alright, short 4 and short 5. Let's look for a push down. I would like this first level. Let's see if we get this. Have some follow through. Market, we're seeing volatility tonight. Like that was 5 points down, 5 points up. I changed the song on that one. Don't want to see that hold. I might bell if we do start to. Don't sell, you're short. Yeah, the fact that we found buyers at these 290s. Gold looking good. Is gold rallying still? I could see gold bouncing. I could see gold breaking out again. Gold to 3,300. Like I said, gold looks pretty bullish to me. If we start to break out and we have this gap from the 9th, I could see gold filling this. 33.20s. Good possibility. But let's get this trade here in the NASDAQ. Sizing down with this volatility. Twas a fine scalp. I mean, if we was only going for 5 points, sure, 5 points. But we're not. Looking for a continuation lower. I don't think I'm gonna look for a break of that pivot, but we'll see. We'll see what this market wants to give us. I entered 5 micros long from 289 to 350. Fingers crossed. You don't need to cross your fingers if you have a process. Nightbot with the TopstepTV Instagram. Where was Nightbot with the risk disclosure? Where were you at, Nightbot? Yeah, now Nightbot's pushing through the hashtags. Where's my stop loss? You can see it. 356. 356 quarter. That's my concrete stop loss. Well, if this market just shoots up. My process. Guess, press, and stress. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna steal that. That's t-shirt worthy. Your process. Guess, press, and stress. Chapter X. I'm gonna steal that, okay? Dakota, will you add? You see my finger, not my finger, my mouse went straight to this add button. So I'm looking at adding. Just added one. Added another. I'll close. I might even close it if we start to break 306. I want us to hold below 300. We need 100-point banger shirts. You need a shirt that says 100-point banger. I don't know about that. That one could be taken many ways, Hoop. If you don't know trading. 100-point bangers. Someone's saying we sweep 306? Like we sweep this and then sell off? My full position is probably going to be about... I want to mine 2 minis. Or at least the equivalent, right? 2 minis. This is 0.7 of a mini. 0.7 of a mini right now. What's the advantage of a 100-tick chart? I like the 100-tick chart just because I could see these smaller fine details that I typically can't see on, say, a 5-minute. That's all. Yeah, I did analysis on this sell-off, right? We had this sell-off and this big gap down, and then we filled the gap, and then we're starting to sell off again. So I'm looking for this market to just have a lot of bearish momentum. Okay, somebody called out that's a sweep of 306. It's 0.35 of a mini. No, this is 0.7 of a mini. A mini is $20 a tick. A micro is basically 10 micros equals 1 mini. Gold bounced off anchor VWAP. 21,500. Someone's buying a dip. 21,500 all the way up there. But this daily time frame in the NASDAQ does not look good, everybody. I went through that daily. Oh, we want to go back here. Daily does not look good. Look at this daily. And maybe Hoag will talk about it tomorrow. I'm definitely going to talk about it tomorrow morning. That, see what happened back on February, right? Consolidation and then a sell-off. Well, what are we seeing now? Now, there's no guaranteed, right? Consolidation, doji, indecision, and then a sell-off. Well, that's kind of what we've seen here. And we've seen that before. We've seen it a few times on the daily. You know, indecision, right? I pointed this out at the beginning of class, right? Consolidation, sell-off, indecision, consolidation. And now it might not, I'm not expecting a very dramatic one, but the fact that, you know, Moody's downgraded, we have Walmart shouting out that, you know, prices are going to be going up, talking tariffs. I think there can be a decent possibility of at least a pullback, right? At least a pullback. We were down 1%. So I'm not going to be surprised by a pullback. Maybe we go retest 21,000. Maybe we sell off a little bit further. But been saying in the markets, you know, I hate to use the word due for a pullback. And I wouldn't be surprised if some targets to the downside I'm going to be watching is going to be that 21,000 level. And so if we do get a pullback down to 21,000, that's what I'm looking to see. I'd love to see it. It's healthy. It's healthy, right? Pullbacks in markets are very healthy. I'm sure there's people that want to buy the markets and they are like, yeah, you know, I would love to buy it, but I want to wait because this market's just been going straight up. What's my favorite trading movie? I don't know. I wouldn't, okay, I'm adding to this. In a small one, it teased that gap. Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Hoag, I think I'll agree with you on that. That was a good one. It was right with Eddie Murphy. I think it was. All right, adding there. Why do I like shorts? Well, there's a lot of bearish momentum tonight. And I went through that on the daily and then an hourly. So I went through it twice tonight. Now, it doesn't mean we can't, you know, rally and maybe hit a stop. But I think over the next couple days, we could definitely see a lot more bears in this market, a lot more selling off. I'm adding there. Ford's a good one. I haven't watched some of those movies for a very long time. So good, yes. Okay, let's see if we're ready for that sell-off. If we get this continuation. They're trying to hold these 290s again. Right? We bounced right off those 290s. I think if we could break those 290s, we could see another flush. Let's get through it. Not looking for much. This is not an overnight trade. I'm going to scale out just like I scaled in. But they're really holding those, trying to hold 290. 288, 289. All right, now we're starting to see a little bit of momentum through that. 5-minute candle just closed. Confirm this 3-bar reversal. 3-bar reversal right there. Closed, just confirmed. Starting to see that sell off into those lower 80s. All right, I'm going to get out of one right there, 81. I'll get out of another. So I have that luxury of scaling out. Let's limit the risk. Let's go ahead and limit some risk now. Just move my CYA just above that pivot. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh, let's get it. That could be on the shirt, right? Here we go. We're seeing some hesitation right here at 280. You're gonna see a break through this. All right, this is another reason why I like watching the 100 tick, because you can start to see these little details, right? You can start to see those little details that you can't really see on a 5-minute. Any reason why you switch from points? Nah, it's some reason it's just, yeah, points are much better. There we go. Yeah, we already closed off a couple at plus, what, plus 10, plus 12 points. All right, here's the retest. Right, this was support, these 90s, these 290s was support. A lot of times I like the break. What happens after we break? Support resistance. We come back up, we retest it. And then if we get continuation, that's the play. So there's also another entry if you're not in short. If I was not in short, I'd be looking to short if we break through those 280s again. Right, support becomes resistance and vice versa. DBA concepts. You know, we broke that support. We came back, we retested it, and now we're right back down. So let's see if we could hold and break through these 270s, 279 now. Nice little good example. You like that example, everybody? Sell 10 more. Sell 10 more. Why do I say it's not an overnight trade? Well, the market's already down 1%. We're already seeing a lot of volatility. And this setup is only on a 5-minute chart. It's not on a higher time frame. So now I want to make sure that this 90 hold as resistance. Now, there is an argument to say that it's fine if we do get a little bit of a bounce and then a continuation. The main thing is we don't want this market to break above that. And so I know Hoag knows this. I'm looking to trail my stop. So every time we have kind of a pivot, I want to trail my stop loss, trail my stop loss, trail my stop loss. So I'm looking for reasons to limit my risk. Like, see on this way down, last time we sold off, right? This is the last time we sold off. And we had these nice pivot points that would allow to trail your stop loss. And you can see that over here on the 100 tick chart. And it's a lot harder to see it on a 5-minute chart, the way that I view these markets. And so maybe we're making that right now, where we're just kind of consolidating here. And even though you can't see this on a 5-minute chart, it's, you know, zooming in, right? Google Maps, zooming in. And so if we do start to break down like we're doing now, then there's a good argument that if we have that continuation and some follow through, then this could be a really great level for my CYA, limiting that risk. Trying to get back to the basics, everybody. So let's get that follow through. There we go. We're seeing some follow through into those 70s. Don't want to see it reject, though. Yeah, that one makes it hard. That one makes it hard. The fact that we did not have any follow through below that, those 280s. Let's see if we could get it. How do you trade using Google Maps? It's an analogy. Analogy, right? 5-minute would be like looking at the state. 100 tick would be like looking at the street. Let's go to 320s. We're trading using Google Maps. You know, hey, oh, I don't know if this was on a movie or something. I heard where there was a lot of Chinese or foreign companies that were coming into the U.S. stock exchange, and investors used Google Maps to see if the companies were even active or something like that. I don't know. Chat, somebody in there probably knows something about it, where they actually use Google Maps to see if a company was actually active and how much inventory they had in like the yard. Found a new edge. We're using Google Maps for our day trading in the NASDAQ. China Hustle. Was that it, Vinny? Sounds about right. All right. Here's another example of a technical, right? We want the market to hold below that. Google Maps to see if it's even a commercial business in penny stocks. Yeah, it makes sense. Sounds like a scene from Billions. Billions is a good movie. I like that. What's my take profit on this trade? So I don't have a solid take profit. I like to trail my stop loss, and then I take profits as we get breakdowns. Scaling out. I don't have an ultimate take profit. I do want to be out of most of my position, and then be able to trail a couple contracts. So I'm going to get out of one right there. I'm just going to get out of a couple of them. All right, gonna have a couple more. Just getting out, right? It's almost like hitting my stop loss. The fact that we broke through that, and the fact that we are, retesting this level. So I gotta have a couple more. So instead of having my stop loss and being all the way out, right? Oh, it stopped me out, and then it continues. I don't mind closing a few out. Google told you it was a slight pullback. Turn left here. All right, now I might be okay. I'm just gonna move my CYA to break even. If we break above these 290s, I just probably gonna be out of it. We've held this as support, and supports became resistance a little bit, and so if we break out, I don't want to be in this trade. Is my strategy basically support and resistance? So I'm a technical analysis trader. I trade technicals, right? It could be a 3-bar reversal. Support and resistance is a big part of it. You hear me talk about it a lot. Trend lines is the technical analysis. Gold is reversing. Gold's been volatile tonight as well. Price likes to retest the break of a wedge. Price remembers, right? So price loves to retest things. You find ES easier and less risky? So I wouldn't say less risky, because less risky can depend on how big of size that you're trading. I could argue more consistent, right? Because if I'm trading 10 minis in the NASDAQ and I'm trading 50 minis in the ES, you can say the ES is more risky, right? So I think there's an argument to be made that ES is a lot more consistent. It's not as, volatile, and you're not going to see as many whipsaws up and down on the ES as you do the NASDAQ. And the primary reason is the order book, right? If we want to compare the order book, the NASDAQ is usually single to low double digits. And the ES, so the ES is much thicker, right? Mid double digits. And so it's a lot harder to move this market. So you're not going to see as much choppy action than you would, say, the NASDAQ. Oh, it depends. Yeah. Yeah, I could give, yeah, it depends. That's always the right answer, right? That's the lawyer's answer. Because it's so true. Yeah, this one's getting out of this trade, so looks like it'll be $100 here to start. Just trading micros. Huge risk for $100? Where's the huge risk? I had an emergency stop loss, yeah. And this market could have easily sold off, and I could have easily made $1,000. We're eating good tonight, though. Fancy ramen. We are still not even done. We're still not done. What if this market could sell off 200 points? Rick Reed. Nobody. Gonna drop a freestyle here. Speaking in cursive. A tool? I don't know. I think it's gonna be some good conversations I would love to have with the team, like Hoag and MP when he's on TopstepTV. Zach, now, that's probably a good reason to lock yourself out. If you're too baked, probably a good idea to lock yourself out. All right, I'm out. $102. See a nice spike there. Let's take a look at gold. What's gold doing? How's it reacting? Gold is starting to sell off now. Let's go ahead and get back to one nice chart, and let's take a look at gold. Gold is starting to sell off. We did break that last pivot, And so even though it still looks from a 1 hour time frame, right, it still looks pretty bullish in my view, that the fact that we had this double bottom. Thank you, Hoag. Trying to get better, man. In case anybody didn't know, I talk to Hoag sometimes. I send him a direct message. I'm like, hey, I struggled today. You know, this. I talk to him, and that's what I utilize the resources around me. When I have an amazing person with so much experience like Hoag that I have access to, where I could DM and talk to, I'm gonna do it. I'm always looking to improve, and yeah, that's part of it. Regardless of all the drama on social media, Topstep shares my statistics daily. Like every single day, Topstep shows my P&L. There's the leaderboard for people to track my P&L. And so it's always shared. People are just lazy to pay attention. And so, yeah, it's easy. You just pay attention. I'm here to demonstrate, hopefully teach and help traders. And I'm always learning. I'm always finding best ways. You know, how do I improve my day trading in this account? How do I improve becoming a better trader? How do I show the process as well? Alex, the exact opposite. Topstep just announced live funded account benefits. So there's already traders getting those benefits. Where are they at, by the way? Let's see. Where are they at? Let's pull it up. I got it right here. Just a moment. I'm excited for him. It's such a big thing. Like, Topstep doesn't need to do it, right? Here it is. Live performance bonus. This is just money that Topstep is giving their live traders, right? There's a performance bonus. Company doesn't have to do this. Company does not have to do this. It's shows you how committed the team is and how committed that they are for the live accounts, right? Yeah. Yes, you can order canceled. Yes, you can. So that's my issue with social media. There's so much misinformation out there. You can withdraw it just like a normal withdraw. If you get the $1,000 bonus, for example, wherever that's at, look, if you get the $1,000 bonus, the next time you take a payout, you could take out the $1,000. Don't listen to any of the misinformation you see online, right? You get it. What do they say? Get it straight from the horse's mouth. Is that a saying? Duckins, no, that's wrong. Yeah, that was completely wrong. Topstep already addressed it too. Yeah, it's live traders, Boomer. Yep, live traders. Focusing on live traders. Yeah, Coach Jay in there. Thanks, Jay. Andrew helping out. Yeah, too much misinformation online. Straight from the horse's mouth. Is that a saying? That's something I hear my grandpa say. You don't. Yeah, it's like someone getting their information for people that. Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Okay. There we go. I knew it. There's a lot of weird sayings that my grandpa and my grandma would say that you don't really know why they say it, right? Yeah, I listened. He had a lot of sayings like that. Yeah. Zach, you sent me a slow market, hashtag slow markets on X. All right, let's see. What did you send me? I still do hashtag slow markets. We're coming up to the end of class. Gold's still selling off for right now, right? We have a little bit of a gap down there for those gap. Hoag, I feel you, feel me. Let's see. My X has been blowing up. My Twitter has been blowing up. So there's a lot. There's a lot that I have to go through. If you did it and tagged me, let's see. There's so much. Some controversial stuff too. I don't mind controversial stuff. Some stuff needs to be talked about. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any hashtag slow markets. You might have to retag me in it. I know, Hoag. The Twitterverse, okay. Let's see what the NASDAQ did. What's the NASDAQ doing? Just back here consolidating. It's gonna be interesting. Hoag, I know you know this. I know you see it. Remember when we were up here? Up at these 22,400s? And then we sold off? And then we were something similar. We had a few consolidation in the decision days, dojis. And then we sold off again. Well, is this time different? Is this time different? Some say this is a bullish flag. I mean, there's a reason for this market to sell off, right? Downgrade by Moody and Walmart talking about raising prices due to tariffs. Why don't I leave a short open? I would have loved to, but I don't see the risk reward right now. If I was able to get in on this 3-bar reversal that I missed, if I was able to get on that 3-bar reversal, my stop loss would be right now. It'd be at like 430. My entry would be on that 3-bar reversal, and yeah, I'd leave this trade running overnight. But I didn't. I missed it. Right? Let's. Where does it go? Yeah. See, I was trying to get in at 393 and a quarter, 3/4, but it's a limit order. I should have just marketed in. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Trade the chart, not the news. Well, the chart's saying, yeah, that's the chart. That's the chart on the daily. The chart's saying, you know, based on patterns, we're due for a pullback. How big? I don't know. I don't know how big of a pullback. Are we going to get one? Man, maybe we don't even get one. Maybe we just keep going straight up. But I think the probabilities of a pullback are now greater. The fact that Moody's did a downgrade, the fact that Walmart is increasing prices due to tariffs, and that also the probability of other, you know, bigger companies like Walmart can be talking about the same thing. Oh, there's someone. Daryl Hallen says hi. What's my risk reward? 1-to-1 or better. Risk reward 1-to-1 or better. Sometimes I'll have an upside down risk reward depending on the trade. Very rarely though. We're up $100. See, look at that. This is my live account. I'm up $100. I'm making money in my live account despite all the trolls. Oh, there's the hashtag slow markets. There's the hashtag slow markets. This is what I was waiting for. Back-to-back trades in the Asian session with filling the opening gap. Okay, it looks like you took a long, and then it looks like you took the short. That's a great short trade. So great trade. Go trade there. Good trade. You thought at one point I was going to start trading the yen? We talked about the yen sometimes with Coach Jay. I think that's it. It's been a little over an hour, but that's okay. I'm going to be on tomorrow. I'm up $100. I'm up $100. Screenshot that. Post it everywhere. All right. Good chat. Fun stuff. Take care, and I will see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning. Enjoy.